Hey, what's up, y'all? Thanks for tuning back into iShot Logic. So if y'all have been watching the news in the last few days, you've probably seen where Black Maga is going on this HBCU college tour. I don't know if it's really connected to Turning Point USA, but Candace Owens is involved and some other folk. I gotta talk about this, man. Black Maga is getting on my nerves. They really getting on my last nerve, and I'm gonna explain why and why they should be getting on the last nerve of every Black American. In previous videos, I've addressed this, but we're gonna address it one more again. I just want to say thanks to everybody for all your support, all your follows, all your clicks, all your likes. Please do me a favor and hit the like button on this video. Again, thank you for your support. Let's get into it. So in case you've been living under a rock the last month or so, we all know about what happened, the tragic death of Charlie Kirk. We all witnessed it. A horrible thing to see. But anybody, no matter what side of the aisle you're on, you should not want to see that. No matter if you like the person, didn't like the person. And the reason why I bring this up is because since then, Candace Owens is kind of reemerging, trying to reassert herself into the public eye after basically being canceled by everybody else because she's grifting, right? Here she is now bringing up all this conspiracy theory about Charlie Kirk.
3 people told me off record. 2 people who have this in a written communication from Charlie. One who is a Turning Point USA donor, and I would say very much one of the white knights in this. The very day before Charlie Kirk died, he expressed that he thought he was going to be killed. He told these people, I think they're going to kill me, okay? He did not express that to me, so I am telling you this based off the testimony of 3 people. And I am saying this because I hope that these people who I think are good will be inspired to come forward with that. Be brave, and they will say, yeah, Charlie did the day before he died think that he was going to be killed, and maybe tell us, who is they? Well, for once and for all, who is they? Who is the they that he thought were going to kill him? And others knew that Charlie was done with Israel bullying him, and I am now going to present you proof of what I am saying. This is an actual group chat, which happened 2 days before Charlie Kirk was assassinated. There were 9 people in total on this chat. So Charlie writes in this group chat, just lost another huge Jewish donor, $2 million a year because we won't cancel Tucker. I'm thinking of inviting Candace. It took me a lot of patience to allow the lies that were being woven and the misrepresentations of people that were pretending that I was just, high on lying about Charlie and the pressure he was under, the attacks that not just me, Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly faced for trying to stand up and tell the truth about what Charlie was actually going through. Why are you hearing it, though, from me and Tucker Carlson and Megyn Kelly? Isn't that weird? You got people that are hosting a show. Have they, in one honorable thing, come out and said, you know what? F a couple of these donors who made his life a living hell.
Okay, so now to follow all that up, now here she is trying to organize this tour of HBCUs, which they already found out a long time ago. The HBCUs don't want them there, but they still trying to push it, still trying to go there. So take a look at this.
Remember when I told you that Blexit had this great plan to step up on HBCU campuses during homecoming celebrations and provide their standard rhetoric? Well, I have an update. HBCU Hampton University kicks Blexit group off the campus. Blexit, an organization co-founded by Candace Owens and powered by Charlie Kirk's Turning Point USA, attempted to join the HBCU's homecoming festivities, not in good faith, however. Their attempt was short-lived as campus security reportedly was ready for them, escorted the group off the campus due to the fact they were unauthorized to be there.
I think that most people would not mind me speaking for the lion's share of Black people in this moment and saying, Candace, we don't want anything you selling. We don't want it. We just don't want it, girl.
So before I get into my deeper issue with Black Maga, the first thing I want to say is a lot of times in this society, we get caught up in something that comes new or innovative to us, a new thought, a new idea, or an idea that has been there but we've never latched onto before. we as people, it's in some of our natures to think that, okay, just because something is different, just because something is new and something is fresh, that it is somehow better than what has preceded it. Why I say that, when you look at the Black Maga movement and the Black conservative movement that we have now, it doesn't resemble what the Black conservative was in past generations and how we carried ourselves as conservatives in the Black community. You can read about Reconstruction era, you can read about Jim Crow even, you can read about the Civil Rights Movement in the 60s and look at what it's turned into now in this movement, which is totally something different. So let's take a minute to look at some of the Black Maga or Black conservative points. Now I want you to listen carefully to the things they say and how they say them, and then I'm going to explain why I got such issue with them.
Yo, I'm going to have to pop off for a little bit. The tribalism in the Black community needs to end.
You know what I love about this hat? Is the fact that it distinguishes me from the average Black person you see come across your social media feed. You instantly think, there's something different about this one. And you're right, and I am different because I read more books than CRT.
We boss, we's don't have the same opportunities as those that came before us. So now, we's got leans into our blackness to make sure that we's gets all rights because we's ain't sitting in the back of the bus no more.
What freedom are you missing? What liberty do you don't have exposure to? What can't you do in the United States of America today? Because I know that y'all want to,
We still shackled.
Who is making you pick cotton is all I want to know.
There are some people that were talking about reparations in this country. They wanted reparations. Nobody owes you anything for slavery. If you want to tell the truth about it, it is you who owes. It's you who owes. Because somebody in those fields took stripes for you. Somebody after those fields were ended and slavery was ended, somebody had to walk through Jim Crow for you. Somebody fought wars and died for you. Those folks on the Edmund Pettus Bridge, carrying American flags, take that, Colin Kaepernick. Living in a society that he could scarcely acknowledge, something that he has never known, living with a bigotry that none of us can imagine. Carried American flags on that bridge, and when they were hit upside the head with nightsticks and shot with water hoses and knocked to the ground, they got up and picked those flags up and kept marching. And they did it for you. Nobody owes you anything. If anybody owes, it's you.
So now, after seeing that, here's my issue. Black conservatives have gotten on this thing about being a free thinker. They're defining a free thinker as being somebody who's not conforming to the norms of what Black family and Black society were at one time. You can call yourself a free thinker, but if you are willing to deny your own reality as a Black person in America, dismiss everything that's going on right in front of our faces in order to be aligned with something, but you're trying to be aligned with it out of fear, then to me, then you're not a free thinker. You're a weak-minded person. There's no other way to describe it. For you to sit up there and repeat mantras like America's not a racist country, even when you've had your own experiences, but you don't want to bring those up because you're on the grift right now, especially if you're a content creator or somebody like that, and you're leaning towards what's hot. Just because you want to be a contrarian and be different than what your parents told you and what your grandparents had passed down, that doesn't make you any smarter. That doesn't make what you're thinking right. Because let me ask you a question. How many of those conservatives of the other likeness have people in their family that are talking about things liberal to their hardline conservative parents, grandparents, and other family members? Do you think that their family members are sitting there saying, oh, well, you know, he's a free thinker? No, they're not saying that. Black folks is the only one to do that type shit. Aligning with an agenda that is against your best interest is not being a free thinker. That's being scared and being weak.
You have to read the history of slavery to understand this. There were two kinds of Negroes. There was that old house Negro and the field Negro. And the house Negro always looked out for his master. When the field Negroes got too much out of line, he held them back in check.
He loved his master. I say he loved his master better than the master loved himself.
If the master got sick, he'd say, what's the matter, boss? We sick?
Master's house caught on fire, the house Negro would be the one who run to put the blaze out.
But then you had some field Negroes, had nothing to lose, and they caught hell. They felt the sting of the lash.
Now, if another slave came up to him and said, let's run away, let's get away from this cruel master, he said, why? What's better than what we got here? Run away, I'm not going anywhere. This is the house Negro. In those days, we called him the house nigger. And that's what we call him today, because we still got a lot of house niggers running around here.
And this is the type of stuff that Black Maga does. And it drives me nuts. And it should you too. The black content creators are the ones I have the biggest problem with. For example, in the aftermath of Charlie Kirk's assassination, Anton Daniels, he was one of the first ones that came out to say that he couldn't find any of this hate speech that the liberals are saying that Charlie Kirk was spreading.
Joe Biden, a lot. I mean, Joe Biden is a bumbling, dementia-filled Alzheimer's, corrupt tyrant who should honestly be put in prison and or given the death penalty for his crimes against America.
They're coming out and they're saying, I'm only here because of affirmative action. Yeah, we know. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously. You had to go steal a white person's slot to go be taken somewhat seriously. We know. We know. It's very obvious to us that you were not smart enough to be able to get in on your own.
Larger. The point is larger than that, Charlie.
I live like a capitalist every single day, Shank. I live as a
Hey,
capitalist,
hey,
okay?
hey, hey.
I live what I believe.
Okay.
I practice what I preach, Shank.
Charlie.
You
Stop.
do not practice what you preach.
Charlie.
We've got evidence all over the internet showing everything he said. But one of the things that he used to do, he was slick about it. He would take some bit of factual information and then he would skew it, call out black folks for not taking accountability for said issue, right? Then he would go in with the dehumanization of said people that he was talking about. That's where the hate speech comes in. I don't need to get into a whole history lesson with you, but I'm just saying, this ain't for everybody. For those that are over here on 4chan and over here on all these other forums and on these right-wing manospheres calling black and brown people subhuman, if you are a person who looks at black and brown people as subhuman, well, what does that make you? Because you came from us. Walk up to a black man and say it to his face. Walk up to a brown man and say it to his face, if that's what you feel. There's no modern day traditional pastime of black and brown Americans who go out in the middle of the woods and sleep with the bugs and the bears and the snakes under a bubble of plastic for 3 days in a row. If you are calling black and brown people subhuman, there's no modern day traditional pastime of black and brown Americans who go take a machine and go out into the middle of nowhere and ride through muddy creek beds and wade in muddy water. I don't know of any modern day traditional pastime of black and brown people where that occurs. As I said before, this ain't for everybody. This is just for those ones. So the next time you want to talk about somebody being subhuman, think about some of the things that you may do in your pastime. All this leads to what we know about outright bigotry, racism, eugenics, and about supremacy theory. That's all that is. Black MAGA, for you to sit there and deny the reality of your own people, even if it's not your personal reality, because you happen to have a construction job that pays you almost $80,000, $90,000 a year and your family ain't got to worry about it. Make jokes about the same black people who go out and work 40-hour-a-week jobs and pay taxes just like you do, but you want to sit up there as a black conservative and make jokes and memes and laugh on TikTok about folks getting their SNAP benefits cut.
But I'm seeing a lot of people on here complaining about food stamps, and it's getting on my last nerves. And it's a bunch of young people on here in their 20s and 30s with no kids talking about their food stamps are going to get cut off. What the hell are you doing on food stamps? Half of y'all selling them damn food stamps and you need to go to jail, okay? You don't need to be on no damn food stamps, especially if you don't have no damn kids. And even some people with kids, they don't even use the damn food stamps on the kids. They sell them to people. But y'all want to get on here complaining about how you ain't gonna have no damn food. Why don't you spend this time looking for a damn job, okay? Why don't, instead of getting your lazy ass on Facebook, why don't you Google jobs near me? Y'all just lazy as hell. Or go get a second job. Do what you gotta do. Stop depending on the damn government in the first place.
Live look at the EBT community.
So my good friend Cam Higbee found out that EBT educations at HBCUs are only breeding grounds for hate.
Man, I gotta tell y'all something that really shook me. I'm old school, and I was just at Dollar General not too long ago. And this little kid come in, maybe 10, 12-ish. He was kind of walking around, so, I kind of paid attention to him. He kind of walked around, he was just looking. I could kind of tell someone's on his mind. So I said, "You all right, young man?" He kind of gave me a look and just kept walking. So he came back up, he put a drink, candy bar, bag of chips on the counter. So I told the cashier, I said, "I'll take care of that." And he said, "You mind if I get my brother and sister something?" I said, "No, go ahead." He got them the same thing. And so I said, "Young man, you okay? What's on your mind?" Whew. He said, "I got heaven on my mind." I said, "What?" He said, "Uncle, I got heaven on my mind." I said, "Young man, what's..." He said, "Well, at least we'll have something to eat tonight." Y'all, when I tell you my whole body got cold, I said, "Young man, how many of y'all is it?" He says, 4 of us. I walked back in that Dollar General. I got them some bread, some hot dogs, some sausage links, eggs, milk, and cereal. I put it on the counter. And I tell y'all, excuse me for getting a little choked up, I tell y'all, when that little young man said he had heaven on his mind, that shit shook me to the core. And I said, "Look, call your mama or whatever and tell them come here and get this stuff." And I paid for everything, and I walked out, and I walked back, and I looked at him. And he looked at me, and he said, "Thank you, Unc. We can eat." That's some deep shit, man. And I'm still shaking from that shit, man. I got a little tear just here. A little tear-eyed. But I know that young man and his family got something to eat for at least a couple days. So y'all, if we can give, man, give from the heart, man. Because it's tough out here, man. If you blessed, man, be that way. Pass on to bless somebody else.
Oh, y'all are missing y'all step. Deny the reality of your own people and disguise it as being a conservative free thinker. You're full of shit. Like you ain't got family members somewhere else in this world that's going through hard times right now based on all the shit that's going on. And you're going to sit up here as a black conservative and make fun of them. But obviously, outside of your immediate family, if you even love your immediate family, you don't love nobody black. And any black or brown person with sense can see through that shit. And trust me, we do. Stephen A. Smith, Officer Tatum, Candace Owens. Yeah, you felt the lash of the whip whenever you said something that didn't line up with the direction that they were marching in.
Basically, what he has right now, Jason, is freedom with a leash. Think about it. Like you said, he started his own podcast, his own platform, and a lot of those comments that are more right-centric than left seem to be coming on his own independent forum, right? That's the pattern that I've detected. But at the same time, he's also got this really great gig with ESPN. So it's freedom with the leash. I mean, he can go out, he can roam, but there's a leash that always pulls him back and keeps him in a certain place.
A new Officer Tatum action desk. He's got one position.
Israel first. Change my mind.
And he will not budge. Press his cap and watch him nod in agreement all day long.
He goes, I don't take money from Israel. I don't take money. Oh, you do it for free then? Wow. Good boy. Good boy. Wow.
To say that Candace Owens and Nick Fuentes are the best of friends, that would be, let's say, short-sighted, if not just outright wrong. Well, now Candace has responded, but not just because Ben Shapiro brought up her name, but because he brought up Charlie Kirk's name. And, since Charlie's death, Candace has spent a lot of time discussing the investigation, suggesting that there are truths to uncover that we don't really know about, and also alleging that he was facing threats over his changing views on Israel.
That whip hurt like a motherfucker, man. Whoop-ha! Oh, shit! You say this is all I got to do?
And just as Anton Daniels did, Officer Tatum was one that stood up there on his podcast and talked about how Charlie was a devout Christian and a man of God, saying that his speech wasn't hate speech. And I'm sitting here saying, dude, we all saw it. We all heard it. The internet is forever. So guess what? You can say that if you want to, but for you to be in support of and piggyback on that type of rhetoric of your own people, or any people for that matter, you ain't a man of God. Can anybody find me a clip of where any of these black conservative content creators have had any of their black family members on their show to debate with that may have a different point of view than you? One of your family members, somebody that you can relate to, somebody whose mama you know, somebody whose sister, whose brother, whose daddy you know, and bounce that bullshit off of them and debate them and see what kind of reaction you get. Let us see that. So if y'all really give a fuck about uplifting black people through conservatism, well then why don't you show it by opening up your platform and make it personal? Let's see how you react to people you care about on camera. I want to see it. Then that'll tell me what type of human being you are. That'll tell the world what type of human being you are and what your real intent is. Because it's easy to sit up there and talk shit about people that you ain't got no connection with. It's easy to sit up there and talk shit about people that you don't know. That's easy to do. No, you'll never do it because what you're doing is not coming from a place of love. That's why I can't stand y'all. I don't hate you because I don't hate nobody. And I truly believe that in your heart of hearts, y'all don't believe half the shit y'all talking. Every time I see Candace Owens or any of you motherfuckers on anything talking, all you want to do is sit up there and talk about where everything is fucked up. What can we do to create a solution to reverse this cycle? What can we do to make things better? Why is it always the liberals that are always coming from a place of love talking about what it's going to take to make it better for us first as a people? Because we got to make it right with ourselves as a people before we can make it right as a country. I don't know what the fuck makes y'all think that y'all can go and regurgitate the same talking points that people who hate us are spewing and think that that's going to change people and that's going to turn people to conservatism. If you talking the same shit Charlie Kirk was talking, well then you're talking the wrong message. Ain't nobody trying to hear you. And I'm saying this from a place of experience because I was raised conservative. I was raised in a small country ass town. Went to church every Sunday. I grew up walking down the halls in high school and hearing nigger. I grew up in the shit. And I was one of the few that really stood up and said I wasn't gonna take the disrespect. I ain't just talking from my ass. Because as cliche as it may sound, the truth of the matter is, y'all don't love yourselves. Because if you did, you wouldn't be 10 toes down, leaning into this type of ideology, knowing what the underlying truth and agenda is behind it all. Or maybe you do know, and maybe you just don't give a fuck. Maybe for some reason you think that you're gonna be spared the rod if this becomes a 100% takeover. I'm here to tell you, you're not. Whatever bad is gonna come to black people, if this administration and the violent people that back it have their way, your black ass will not be spared the rod. No more than mine will. And you can sit up there and play fucking stupid all you want to. But when the shit goes down, it ain't gonna mean nothing. You can wear that red hat if you want to. You ain't gonna be nothing but a nigga in a red hat. And that's all you're gonna be later, is a nigga in a red hat. Let that sink in.
How did he win? Well, it was racism, it was misogyny, xenophobia. Really? 76 million from every walk of life, up over every demographic from 4 years ago? It was racism. No, it wasn't. It was people who are tired of a system that's been lying to them. And even though the candidate is deeply flawed, all of those things didn't matter to people who are saying, I can't pay for groceries. You can't finesse me with a whole bunch of words that don't mean nothing. Your celebrity endorsements didn't help you. And people are hurting, they're lost, they're wounded, and they're broken. All of what happened Tuesday had already been written by heaven. None of it caught God off guard. And none of it will impact the people of God in a way other than what God intended for his people. So here's my question. Have any of God's promises changed? Has God's love changed? Did anything catch God off guard? So what you crying for?
And you black conservatives in these churches, y'all are some of the worst ones. Y'all are some fake Christians. F-A-K-K-K-E. Fake. Don't nothing y'all talk about and none of the points that y'all hit represent God. Y'all don't represent God. God was about picking up his fellow man. When you MAGA people, especially you black MAGA people, try to talk God this, God that, and try to act like you're holier than thou, right? But then as soon as you get a little pushback in a debate or in the conversation, what's the first thing you do? You go to your insults. You go to degrading and shaming black folks. You bring up something in the black community, just like Charlie Kirk did, but you put a black face on it. Well, if Cordell didn't have 5 baby mamas, maybe he wouldn't have to, that type of bullshit. So we know it ain't coming from a place of love. It never is. You're not trying to be a solution to the problem. You're not trying to help the black community because the message you're spreading is just as hateful as what the rest of them are spreading. You're no better than they are. There ain't nothing I read in the Bible that says that because you're a Christian that you get to absolve yourself from any accountability when you have hate in your heart for other people. So it's okay for you to go to church, come home, and then talk about people that you don't like, people that don't look like you, and people that don't agree with you politically. That's what you think Christianity is? Excluding other people, talking about white Christian nationalists. So black Christians not welcome. Latino Christians not welcome. Asian Christians not welcome. Jewish Christians, especially Jewish people, definitely not welcome. Lightning ought to hit you motherfuckers every time y'all bring up God. When you got hate in the same fucking sentence. Like Christ would condone this behavior. Call them evil and call them subhuman because they don't think like you do. Or you don't understand why they're this way. What Bible are you reading? Must be the Trump one. I don't know. I don't know what revised version of the Bible that you folks are reading.
And when we let freedom ring, we will be able to speed up that day for all of your children. Black men and white men, Protestant and Catholic. In the meaning of that old Negro spiritual, free at last, free at last. Thank you, God Almighty. We are free at last.
We know that the whole MAGA movement is about making America great again. To pray that prayer on the day that America celebrates Dr. King's birthday, we're also celebrating that we as Americans will be able to see the dream fulfilled through our president, Donald J. Trump.
The Democratic policies are destructive and dangerous, and that's why I'm a Republican, that's why I'm a conservative as a pastor. As I call myself the Black Maga preacher, because I believe that it's MAGA has been painted as this hate group or this racist thing, when I believe it's a real movement to really the country, to make America great again, not make America racist again like some of my black pastors think, but to make America prosperous and a nation that is respected all over the world. That's what that means. And so that's why I call myself Black Maga preacher.
What agenda does Black Maga have for black folks? Is it financial independence? Is it culture reform? Where's your figurehead? Where's your Farrakhan? Where's your Dr. King? I haven't seen one person that I can look at and say they are the leader of Black Maga. The preacher from Detroit, I don't look at him as the leader of Black Maga. Is Candace Owens the face of Black Maga? Officer Tatum the face of Black Maga? I don't think so. Terrence K. Williams is a comedian. The rest of these other guys are like podcasters and stuff. Black Maga is not a movement, it's a grift. If it were a real movement, it would have real leadership, and it would have a real agenda, and it would be clear-cut. Y'all don't have a spokesperson at all, except for those that are on the other side of MAGA. So who's going to represent you, Black MAGA? Show me the clip where J.D. Vance came out and said something and acknowledged Black MAGA. Find me the clip where Stephen Miller acknowledged Black MAGA. If you want to spearhead a black conservative movement, it can't be attached to MAGA. The MAGA movement is about white Christian nationalism and exclusion of other races and other cultures. Black and MAGA cannot exist in the same entity. Black conservatism needs to be its own brand if it wants to be taken seriously. It can't be attached to a movement that is against the best interests of the people that it represents. Black and MAGA do not go together. Your intent shouldn't be to come in to put your own people down because you're scared to stand up. You'd rather lay down and open your ass cheeks and let a MAGA billionaire put a cigar out in your ass. The question is, are you willing to stand up? Whether you call yourself conservative or liberal, if you're not willing to stand up for what's right when either side is wrong, you don't need to be nowhere near the struggle. Stay out of it. We don't need your weak ass. We see through every bit of it. You're not getting over on us. So why you keep trying? As Black MAGA, you're never coming from a place of love. Anytime I see you all talking, if you was coming from a place of love, you'd be talking about taking an approach to conservatism to unify ourselves in our community. If you want to be taken seriously, well then be serious. Face the facts. Quit sitting up here trying to downplay what we all know, the intent of this administration, the moves they've made, what they're trying to do. So if you want to push conservatism with blacks, let's push conservatism about getting back to where we were civil rights, where there was so much respect for the black community and its resilience and its fight. Other people were willing to join us, and some even laid down their lives to help our cause. Let's create our own brand of conservatism in the black community that instills the love and respect for each other, to where when we see kids acting up, we can get on them and their parents not come at us for correcting their kids, whether they're family or not. How about we get back to looking out for each other? when the neighbor down the street's got something going on? Let's get together, let's help them. How about we get back to not hating on each other as a people in the community? Because your neighbor got a nice car and your situations don't allow you to have a nice car. You can't stand the look of him in his new car every time he comes out to go to his job that he works 50 hours a week to afford it. How about we get back to not looking down on other black folks that are less fortunate than us? How about we get back to raising our kids in a way that is respectful to us? Let's talk about conservatism and what it needs to do for us, not for them, not for the billionaires, not for the non-black folk, for ourselves, not somebody else, not to please somebody else, not to keep somebody else from talking bad about us, but to scoop up the shit that's in the kitchen floor of our own fucking community. No matter what we do as black folks, there's some people that ain't never gonna look at us as being equal, no matter if you conform to every single bit of it. If you want to be taken seriously as a black conservative to come in and talk to black folks about conservatism, don't talk to them about joining the movement of white supremacy. Talk to them about joining the movement to help build ourselves back up. If you ain't talking about that, ain't none of us trying to hear it. And use your damn platform to talk about solutions to the problems in the black community, not to pile on and making a whole damn 15-minute video about why those people are right to demonize black folks. Start by doing right by black people first, by not participating in the demonization and the dehumanization of your own people. Then maybe we'll take you seriously. But until then, kick rocks. I'm out.